Welcome back to Newsline. And Nigerian women are truly, truly shining. They're making their mark and showcasing the incredible talent of the world's most populous black nation, Nigeria. Now, at the recent United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, these remarkable women brought their A game, proving that they're not just participating, they're also leading. And correspondent Ladibala, a leader in her own right among the pen pushers, shares the inspiring stories of these amazing women who are redefining leadership on the global stage.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you gather on the eve of the fourth session of the Intergovernmental Negotiating...
There may be some of you in this room who worked to support African countries.
So the point of this story is not to say that you can call me chimichanga.
And remember that peace begins with us.
The platforms are high profile. These ladies are Nigerians standing tall. Their voices are loud with insightful and engaging conversations on the electorate of global concerns. At the 79th United Nations General Assembly, DJ Copy, a Nigerian musician and philanthropist, represents a new generation of emerging global leaders on the African continent, with Nigeria at the center. She is the first Nigerian to host an opening session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. Wow, you may say.
My name is Florence Ifeoluwa-Otedola, but you can call me Kapi. I'm repping a country called Nigeria, in case you've heard of it. And I am so honored to be taking you on this journey today.
It was a defining moment that resonates with Nigerians.
I really trip everyone this time around is to have a younger generation of Nigerian women, DJ Copy, moderating a section at that high-level profile event. And she came across very strong. Her message was clear.
I'm proud to be a Nigerian to start with. First of all, seeing DJ Copy there, doing exploits for us, representing us, notwithstanding her background, socioeconomic status, she followed her dreams.
Amina Mohammed is one of our flagship in this country. Okoji-Iweala is also one of our flagship. If you look at even the African continent, last week I read about in the billionaire space, I was surprised. More than 50% of the billionaires in Africa that are not even on the Forbes list are in Africa, and they are women.
Nigerian women have come a long way. We have accomplished Nigerian women, and as a father of 3 lovely girls, I'm a supporter of women.
I feel she's encouraging young Nigerian girls to achieve their dreams and go for whatever they feel like going to.
What is the import of such recognition at the highest level of global discourse? Are the decades of advocacy for women's empowerment, inclusion, and participation in governance paying off?
So let us cooperate. Let us love. Let us be open. It is in doing that, and our men as well too, they can help us.
As Nigeria turns 64, appreciate contribution of the woman next to you. You may be celebrating the future president of the country. The future is a woman.
All right. Nigerian women, oh yeah, when we hold the microphone, we spit fire. Let's get on now. All forms of violence are condemned by the scriptures and are also viewed as wickedness. That's a detestable act in the eyes of God. But unfortunately, marriage can often be like a brewing storm, leaving couples stepping into the realm of the unknown, unaware of what lies ahead. Now this brings us to our next story about Mary, who now grapples with the painful wish that her path had never crossed with the man she once loved. Annie Daniels has these details.
The media is flooded with stories of gender-based violence, a stark reminder that this scourge persists despite widespread awareness campaigns.
These issues are with us. Rape, defilement, domestic violence, these issues have always been with us. But what was lacking before was the formal reporting.
The perpetrators are often those closest to the victims, making it even more perplexing
We're all aware that the law does exist, but enforcement is always the challenge. That is why we need to continue to support agencies like DSVA.
As we search for answers, we are left wondering why gender-based violence continues to plague our society.
If you have been victimized, you might need some healthcare service, you might need some psychosocial support, you might need to be removed from the places where your vulnerability is high. So maybe if it's intimate partner, you might need a shelter.
Mrs. Mary, a victim of gender-based violence, shares her experience.
When I give birth to my second baby, just to say girl, again abandoned me in the hospital. Didn't care about me. It's my family that took up the case and take care of me. It was handling me like as if a slave, to the level that people around me was even thinking that I'm a maid.
Things were not okay. Things were in disarray. There was no peace in that home. The children were not happy. So I was always outside there, moving around.
It is disheartening to note that both perpetrators and victims are often familiar with the teachings of their faiths about love, respect, and submission in relationships.
That gives us a lot of job at the level of the church, that we are actually facing issues with couple. We got a lot of situation, a lot of time to spend counseling, mediating, and at times we bury some people that are not supposed to be buried because of the situation of violence.
Now, in the next 10, 15 years, these cases of sexual gender abuse will soon become a thing of the past, because many must have been taken care of in terms of within the ambit of the law.
While we wait for that to happen, our respondents urge victims not to wait until it's too late. They stress the importance of seeking help from appropriate authorities promptly.
I would have left the marriage, but because of my grandfather's instruction as the chief, the Oba of my place, he said that nobody should leave the marriage after marriage. That instruction was carried on, so I did not go. So I was suffering and smiling.
All right. Now, the joy of many couples lies in becoming parents, isn't it? But the greatest delight for parents is witnessing their children unite in marriage. Now, one can only imagine the excitement of lawmaker Alhassan Adodogwa and his family as they celebrated not just one, but two daughters and a son, tying the knot in a very magnificent series of weddings that transformed the ancient city of Kano State into, guess what? A vibrant extension of the National Assembly. And as expected, the event was a breathtaking display of culture and grandeur, where every moment felt like a page from a royal wedding fairy tale. Yahana Suhassan captured the stunning highlights for Newsline.
This is not a political party, convention or congress, but coincidentally, a gathering of politicians from all political divides who converge on Kano in solidarity to one of their own, Representative Alhassan Adodogwa, whose two of his children got married. It was a rare occasion which no politician in Kano and other parts of the country will deliberately miss, because daughters and the son of political gladiators in Kano are exchanging marital vows. The galaxy of who is who in the country is enough to attest to their political sagacity in Kano. Among dignitaries are Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker, House of Representatives, Deputy Senate President Barau Jibril, former Senate President Ahmad Lawan, members of the National Assembly, governors of Kaduna and Jigawa State, and the national chairman of the ruling party, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The list is inexhaustible. Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stood in for the family of Ado Alhassan Dogwa, while Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibril, served as wali for Hajara Sani Bala.
For the couple, this is
an entirely new thing for them.
Both of them by their own respective families. We know their children, they have a lot of good conduct.
It will be blessed not only with happiness, but it will be blessed with a lot of children.
Times are very hard, but at the same time, they should be able to tolerate each other.
Families of Alhassan Ado Dogwa were not left out in the mood as they were engaged in series of activities to celebrate the exit of their daughter Saadata Alhassan from the bachelorhood and also welcome their in-law. The serene environment created the atmosphere of concordiality among women who trooped in to join the celebrations.
I'm so happy, I'm very happy.
She should never check his phone.
We pray for them that God will enrich them.
My prayer to the couple is for them to live peacefully.
Alhamdulillah for the way that we hope everybody will go back home safely.
It was a joyful moment for Representative Alhassan Ado Dogwa for witnessing the wedding of his son Ahmed and daughter Saadatu, who exited the league of the Dogwa's family to begin her private matrimonial life.
I'm grateful to God, and I thank people, my friends, relatives, and virtually everyone that came here. Look at it, I have even lost my voice.
For those that are not married, may Allah give us the privilege to witness their...
I'm so happy, and inshallah, I know it will be a success.
I thank God for giving me such a beautiful wife.
I thank everybody for coming.
The brides and grooms were engulfed in sustained celebrations as friends and well-wishers clustered around in solidarity with the couple.
And I say amen to all the prayers there. Wonderful wedding. And let's move on now. While the 13th wedding anniversary of Dr. Prince Emmanuel and Dr. Helen Eze began as a heartfelt expression of gratitude to God for their resilient union, something pleasantly unexpected was in the air. And Deborah Balabubu captured the details of this intriguing celebration for Newsline.
Don't get it twisted. It is not a wedding reception, but a 13th wedding anniversary of Dr. Prince Emmanuel and his beautiful wife, Dr. Helen Eze.
I want to thank God Almighty for a wonderful opportunity and life given to us to be here, to be part of the witness. The witness, a man who is full of good heart and a philanthropist, who are giving back to society in a large number, is worthy of emulation. And this is exactly what the society should be like.
May God give us more life and prosperity in Jesus' name.
I wish them good luck and prosperity.
The event wasn't just to celebrate their wedding anniversary, but to also lay a foundation in the area of empowerment of some Nigerians.
Short, I don't know what to say. So short, I'm just so happy. When you're with this thing, it's a thing of joy to me. I'm able to start a business on my own.
Angela James.
So what are you specialized in? Okay, we specialize in baking.
Which one?
I'm a late
Dr. Emmanuel Eze speaks on the dual celebration.
It gives me joy, and each time I do it, I get younger.
An irresponsible man kills the beauty of a woman. I thank God this journey for 50 years is not easy.
Checks were also offered as start-ups to the 100 beneficiaries.
Oh dear, I was caught off camera. I was actually enjoying that music. Were you expecting something different because of number 13? No, 13 is just a number. And for Dr. and Mrs. Eze, it was a special occasion, and we congratulate them for that. You're watching Newsline. Let's take a short break now. We'll be back presently. Welcome back, and it's Newsline on the network service. Now, over the years, Nigeria's National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has seen several adjustments to their monthly allowance, the monthly allowance Corps members received. Of course, we know that as alawi. Now, recently, that alawi was, of course, increased significantly, and it increased from 30,000 naira to 77,000 naira, and it was approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now you would say, what a leap for their pockets. Olayinka Ojo takes us through the history of these increases over the past 51 years and explores the economic impact.
From 1973, when the National Youth Service Corps scheme was established till date, the scheme has had an increase in allowances for 7 corps members 13 times, beginning from the first monthly allowance paid to the first set of youth corps members, which was 60 naira in 1973. Jennifer Ejembi, a graduate of English language from the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, now a senior citizen, is one of the pioneer corps members. She told me what it meant to have been paid the sum of 60 naira as a 7 corps member at that time.
It was 60 naira. It was more than enough. I haven't had enough to send to my younger ones who were in secondary schools. I'm very glad that they've increased it to something more reasonable they can live with. If they can increase it more, it will be wonderful.
The upward review in the monthly allowance for youth corps members, more than 51 years and still counting, has been in tandem with economic realities.
This government is a government for the youth. 100% increment is something. Manage your resources well, and with this side program, I think you can go to places and you'll be able to depend on your own.
It tells you how passionate the president has the youth at heart. We thank him that he always listening to us.
Elizabeth Mowe is a serving youth corps member, passionate with the production and packaging of Zobo, a popular red cereal drink, a skill she said she learned on camp. She says she does not have sufficient capital to start her business. However, with the increase in her federal government monthly allowance,
it's going to be a bonus for my skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development. I do Zobo, I do cooking of that, so I can add it to my business.
Some parents say the increase will reduce the effect of the harsh economy on those of them whose children are serving.
Release burden from us.
Save a little no matter how. There are many opportunities. Nigeria is a very big market. Even if you are selling something, nothing you sell that you will not see buyers.
While appreciating the federal government's gesture, stakeholders are of the view that the increase will further spur the youth corps members to give their best to the service of their fatherland for social and economic growth, as well as the overall development of the nation.
All right, many more youths will now begin to obey the clarion call, under the sun or in the rain. So behavior is often a mirror of who we are, and as Plato once said, it can stem from desire, emotions, or knowledge, but more often than not, certain behaviors come from ignorance or uncontrolled emotions. Now, such seems to be the case with an 18-year-old boy who broke into someone's 3-bedroom apartment and shockingly set it on fire. Now, what makes this story even more heartbreaking is that the modest house was built with hard-earned loans and was a symbol of hope and sacrifice for the owner. Now, it stands in ruins, leaving one speechless at this senseless act. Ahmed Fulani brings us details of this incident in Ilorin.
Everyone in life dreams to own his or her own house and becomes a landlord rather than a tenant. Although Mrs. Bolatito Adebayo a banker in Ilorin, has achieved the dream of completing her house by 2020, but she is now homeless again after her residential building was set ablaze by a young boy who was reported to have come to burgle the house. This spurred me to unravel the reason behind this criminal offense as I met with Mrs. Adebayo in the Afenifere area of Upper Gakombi, who narrated what happened.
The boy was talking inside, say anybody that come inside this house is going to stab the person and also kill himself, that he's ready, that they sent him to come and burn this house. Okay, there are some people that asked him to come and burn this place and he's ready to carry out the operation. So everybody was begging him that don't do this. If it's money that you want to collect, we are going to give you. This guy refused to stop the operation that he's doing. So one bike man, Aboki, was passing. He now stopped. So that Aboki man now say everybody should step aside, that he's going to enter the house. So the Aboki man entered the house and this boy stabbed the Aboki man with the knife on his hand. So other men around, they quickly grab him from the back.
Yeah, for reason they call him that. Come out now. He say you no go come out. He say no go come out at all. We are until the people all people they break these gates. After they break the gates, they enter the carry him out by force.
I was packing food while the local guard came asking who was inside. I didn't know that those people already set fire on the building. This is what happened.
While she is left with one cloth and a bag, many valuables belonging to her and her 12-year-old son were lost to the arson. The prompt response by the Kwara State Fire Service was a saving grace. The old building will have been in ruins.
Try to do the needful by a seat of that fire incident, but we do the needful and we extinguish the fire. But in the process, when we asked what caused the fire, then we now started hearing a different story about a boy that break into inside to the building and set the building on fire.
He is presently in their custody in Ilorin, but the public relations officer declined comments.
Let's go to Maiduguri, a city that always has an intriguing story to tell on Newsline, especially when it comes to its rich traditions. So today, we'll be focusing on a unique feature on Dandal Way, which leads to the Sheikh's Grand Palace. Now, this distinctive driveway does not have an official name, but is hard to miss and adds a touch of intrigue to the city's landscape. So it's a special path that only the Sheikh's vehicle can use, no matter what other drivers may think. Mohammed Abubakar, again, our zonal coordinator, will guide us through the story behind this fascinating tradition, again, coming from Maiduguri.
Adorned with the green-white-green paint that depicts national colors, the driveway, erected about a century ago, symbolizes some attributes known with the Kanuris, notably reverence for the traditional institution, love for art, and a good sense of history. Its history is so familiar among the residents of the city, most especially those around the neighborhood, so much that the aura it generates is what one only sees around the Sheikh's Palace. What is the feeling around people at the neighborhood about this artwork? The question put to some of those who have lived there for more than half a century.
My first experience with this edifice was in 1964, and I knew it to be a driveway that was used only by the Sheikh's vehicle and other very important persons then. Apart from these very important persons, I can't remember ever seeing any vehicle driving through it, and even now.
Hassan Zannaboma is the Chief Historian, Borno Emirate Council.
The history of the driveway leading to the Sheikh's Palace, which we called in Kanuri Dandal, is that Borno as an entity is a city-state, and the rulers of Borno create their cities along that pattern.
How true is the fact that it is only Shehu's vehicle that passes through the driveway is the question put to some of those around the edifice.
We grew up in this neighborhood, seeing the sanctity of this driveway being respected even by visitors. The only vehicle we see driving through is that of Shehu or those of very important persons like presidents, governors, or their likes. We, the Kanuris, are so happy and pleased that the Shehu is distinguished in this unique way, as he deserves more than this from us.
As the Shehu's driveway continues to attract the attention of passers-by, notably first-time visitors to Maiduguri city, it is the hope and prayer that edifices of this nature be preserved for the upcoming generation to see and appreciate.
I agree with you, Mohammed, but no matter what you say, that's one story that brought our history and tradition to life. And remember that every detail, no matter how small, tells a larger story. You're watching Newsline. Let's break away for some commercials. Thank you for joining us. Now, when people hear rabies, they often picture wild animals and foaming mouths. But it's much more than that. Despite many considering it as a disease of the past, rabies still claim thousands of lives annually, especially in developing countries. Our next report sheds light on efforts to eradicate rabies by 2030. Ifoma Aikoje has the facts and the fight.
Rabies is a viral infection that is basically found in the saliva of animals, especially dogs. When a dog, cat, or any other animal that harbors rabies bites, the virus travels all the way to the central nervous system. And at this point, health experts say the victim is at high risk of losing his or her life.
The primary cause of rabies in Nigeria is bites from infected domestic dogs, which accounts for about 94% of confirmed human cases. The virus is actually transmitted through saliva during bites and scratches.
Not only through bites, people can have or contact rabies through the mucous membrane, the eye, the mouth, having contact with the saliva of infected.
If you get bitten by a dog or cat, professionals recommend that you wash the affected area with soap and water for up to 15 minutes. Press the area to take off some of the infected blood and seek medical attention as soon as possible. To achieve the end rabies drive, experts insist that prevention is key.
Actually, to achieve herd immunity, we need to vaccinate about 9.1 million dogs annually. Then also cultural practices. Some cultural beliefs often lead to individuals seeking traditional treatments for dog bites before they seek medical care, and this can actually delay access to post-exposure prophylaxis.
Hydrophobia and increased salivation may be experienced.
In dogs, for example, there is change in behavior. Some dogs may become aggressive, running after moving objects, attacking people, and some could be dumb.
We also want to promote responsible pet ownership. If you have pets, ensure that their anti-rabies vaccination, especially for dogs and cats, are up to date. Rabies is actually very severe and it is 100% fatal, especially when symptoms begin to show.
Together, we can protect lives and prevent rabies. Rabies is a preventable disease, so let's hype awareness.
Need I say, prevention is better than cure. Now, if love is blind and beauty, they say, is truly in the eye of the beholder, then beauty becomes a fascinating and complex concept, open to interpretations by whoever is looking at it, isn't it? Now, many of us go to great lengths to enhance our beauty, while a few embrace their natural looks. So, which works for you? Tessia Mary explores this in her next report.
Beauty is often said is in the eyes of the beholder. So, beauty is relative to what it constitutes. Beauty varies from one individual to the other. However, scripturally, every creature is said to be wonderfully and beautifully made.
God is not against beauty. Also, you can enhance beauty. Beauty can be enhanced. But what we preach against abuse. Some people, in the bid to enhance beauty, they overdo it.
Beauty, then there's the spiritual beauty, which are the people refer to as the Sufis, the mystics. When they talk of the beauty of Almighty Allah, that is the completion, the completeness of God, that everything He creates is good and it is beautiful.
This implies that beauty comprises both physical appearance and character of a person.
Beauty is from within. When you have internal contentment, that is why we say when a man is internally contented, he will feel that he has everything in the world. We need to love ourselves.
When God began the conceptuality of creation in Genesis chapter number 1, the Bible says God created. For everything He created, He saw that it was good.
But there is a growing quest for outward beauty in the society, hence the crave for artificial beauty, which is on the increase. If I may ask, which do you prefer, natural or artificial beauty?
I prefer natural beauty. Natural beauty lasts more than artificial.
What is a natural will stand a test of time, but artificial it has a faded time.
At least sometimes you'll be okay, the natural will be okay, but sometimes you have to change a little look of you.
Although more people will opt for the natural beauty, but craving for the artificial appearance has increased with the use of soap, cream, and other attachments to enhance beauty. More worrisome is the new dimension to physical beauty, with cosmetic surgeries, eyelashes, lips and nose enhancements, all in a bid to look good for the opposite gender. Some of these artificial attachments have resulted in fatalities.
Natural beauty is very, very beautiful, more than artificial.
With all these, in a bid to look beautiful which fades over time, how attractive is one in character? Well, this is a question we all need to answer.
Okay, I need to remove my glasses so you can take a closer look at me. If you think I'm beautiful, what do you see? Natural charm or made-up glamour? Well, this question encourages us to reflect on our own perceptions of beauty and how they shape our opinions. Thank you very much, Tessie, for bringing us this report. So as the saying goes, we don't get to choose whether to use smartphones, but we do have a choice on how we use them. Now, many people are increasingly concerned about their partner's phone habits. Now, these devices can also strain relationships and homes. But the real question is, can your love withstand sharing access to your phone with your spouse? Let's see what correspondent Chinyere Okoye discovered in her report.
Mobile phone is a personal communication device used to make and receive calls, send and receive messages, access the internet, and perform other tasks via a wireless connection. Mobile phones have become an integral part of people's daily lives. In spite of the fact that it is a personal communication device which serves for work, business, online classes, entertainment, and communication with friends and family, should couples give their partners full access to this device? Some women speak.
Why not? I can. In fact, he has access to it. He has my password. He can check anything he wants at any time.
And to his own too, do you have the SMS?
Of course. Yes, I have it. I can tell you his PIN now.
I am free. You can access the phone anytime, anytime, anywhere.
Then does the husband allow you access the phone?
Yes. Because we are one.
I don't lock my phones. It's open 24 hours. I have no skeleton to hide.
Yes, I want it free for me too. With my family, we relate fine with my children. We relate fine. We don't lock phones in our house. I've seen a family that somebody that died, and the family could not let access to the phone to find out all his assets here and there. Let someone come and open that phone to enable us know one or two things about him, and that was the only relevant of it. Otherwise, all he had gathered in life could have been lost, if not that phone.
But my wife doesn't go to my phone. She makes it as a habit. Doesn't say things, no, I'm not interested. That's what the wife, because he trusted me. So I would advise women to trust their husband to trust their wife. You have that trust, that love, that integrity is there. They don't need to go for phones. Only when you have some little of distrust.
Anambra State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare revealed that there has been reported cases of marital issues as a result of couples restricting their partners from having full access to their mobile phones.
So they will tell you that my wife will always go to my phone and browse through my phone, all the unknown names, contacts to her. She will just copy them and start calling them one after the other. Don't go to your husband's phone. Your husband should not go to yours. I'm not saying that the man should have skeleton in his cupboard too. Okay? If you want to trust yourself, then it's when you start hiding things, then your partner will start suspecting something. You might end up calling somebody that is even giving him business.
Since mobile phones have become indispensable because they allow people to stay connected with others and perform necessary tasks online, the general view is that couples should endeavor to trust each other and live transparent life for peace, love, and unity to reign and be sustained in their homes.
Oku, akoko, story. On a serious note, personally, women are often quite open, but I've heard some men respond with, "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone." You know what I mean? Anyway, we are in the Ember Months. An acronym for the last 4 months of the year often prompts many, especially believers, to seek divine protection from perceived dangers associated with these months. So, are these fears justified, or is it truly necessary to pray and set up prayer altars during this time? Again, Chinyere Fesi Okoye explores these questions and shares her findings with us on Newsline.
The last quarter of the year, being the final 4 months of the calendar year, September to December, is popularly referred to as the Ember Months. Some people who spoke off camera say the Ember Months come with a lot of fear and apprehension, as the period to them records high rates of crime, road traffic crashes, and death toll. How true is this belief?
I don't want to subscribe to those people that are saying that it is just because of spiritual issues and money making people and all this kind of evil spirit on the. At the inception of the year, people do make some resolutions on what they would do. So once there's Ember Month, it brings intense hyperactivity. People will begin to try to make up for what they have failed to do in the past.
Many perceptions, ideas, beliefs, I call it superstitious belief, may arise that during Ember Month, evil increases, a lot of things goes on negatively. But to me, I don't much believe in that.
To others,
perception of some people about Ember Month brings about fear and worry, because they believe that the last 4 months of the year bring troubles for them. But I believe that every month is as good as the Lord has made it.
I think people make a lot of mistakes, like driving carelessly on the road, like being drunk on steering, having something over a kind of psychological disaster in their heads and so forth.
Increased rates of road traffic crashes during the Ember Months is usually caused by human error.
Vehicular human traffic is much on the road, and there's a lot of distraction.
People are busy making calls. People are busy trying to meet up with deadlines. Transporters are busy trying to cover as much hours, as much grounds as they can. At such times, most people don't even care to maintain their vehicles. We travel with tires that we should have changed. We do not service our cars very well. We travel with cars that are rickety, cars that we tell ourselves we need to manage. There's a lot more things to do with the money, so I don't want to put it into maintenance of car. All these things boil down to crashes waiting to occur.
Why the rush? Slow and steady, many say, wins the race. Ember months comes every year. If you miss anything this year, next year could be the time to accomplish your targets.
All right, Chinyere, thank you for those two reports you brought to us. Let's take our last commercial break. When we come back, we'll bring you one or two more stories. Welcome back. Now, Adam Smith identified shelter as a fundamental need for human survival. And indeed, one of the dreams many people share is to become landlord. Not just for rental income, but for the financial security it brings. Now, for the couple in our next report, that dream became a reality. However, their joy quickly turned into a nightmare, leading to their tragic death, just 2 weeks after their housewarming. Fortunate also visited the residence of the late George and Chioma Buchi to unravel the details of this tragedy for Newsline.
Life, they say, is full of uncertainties, but there are some occurrences that do not even cross the mind. This is the dilemma family and friends of late Mr. and Mrs. George and Chioma Buchi are still contending with. Never did they envisage that tragedy will strike barely 2 weeks after celebrating their son's 3rd birthday at their new house. Just like any other day, 25th of August started well, but around 12 noon, an explosion that left residents of Ogidi Street by Udemezue in shock was heard. The unfortunate incident claimed the life of the wife, Chioma, 6 days after, and eventually the life of the husband, George, on 11th September 2024. For some, especially neighbors, one of who pleaded anonymity, the explosion can't be as a result of gas cylinder or battery inverter as being speculated due to its sound and impact in the neighborhood.
We had a terrible explosive sound that sounded that of a dynamite. When we, the neighbors, rushed down, we are not able to access the gate because it was locked from inside. Then while the youths around were trying to jump through the fence to help out, the victim came out on a boxer short with bruises all over his body with the wife, opened the gate, then the neighbors around took the key of his wife's vehicle and rushed them straight to teaching hospital, to the burn section and emergency. It's quite unfortunate that when people now started rushing into the compound, we discovered that the cylinder was intact. The inverter battery solar panel house was intact.
In search for more answers, NTA News crew visited Ebonyi State Police Command, where the police public relations officer DSP Joshua Okando confirmed the incident, saying that investigation reveals that the incident was caused by gas cylinder in the kitchen downstairs.
If it was dynamite, as people were initially insinuating, there would be a crater at the point of, there must be an impact, there will be something that our investigators will see and they will know that something happened, an i.e. improvised explosive device. So, but they did not see any such thing at the scene.
Although the late couple's only child narrowly escaped the incident because he was upstairs, family and friends are yet to come to terms as to what actually happened.
Very tragic indeed. Now let me let you in on a little secret. Signing off isn't easy. It's a challenge to find just the right words to capture our shared moments. And of course, With God's grace, we look forward to seeing another beautiful Sunday together next week. And on behalf of the Newsline correspondents and our dedicated behind-the-scenes crew, I say, Odaro, Kaimbochi, Mokwana Lafia, Segobe. Good night, everyone.
We know as the African wedding industry.
From bold prints to contemporary twists, Nigerian fashion is the epitome of elegance and creativity.